Well, hello, beautiful people. I want to welcome you to another episode of Pause Reset Unplugged. I'm your host, your girl, Natalie Francis-Clarke. Today's guest, I'm always excited, but I'm really excited because it took her, I won't say how long to agree to do this podcast with. So I'm grateful. Matter of fact, I'll probably go play the lottery because she decided to do it.
Play
Right?
the date. What's the date? 425, 25? Yeah, play
Mhm.
those numbers.
So my guest is none other than Otissa Marble, who I call Lady O, right? So Tis, before we even get into it, I always like to ask, what are you eating or drinking at this moment?
Oh, so that's a good question. I actually just have water today, which I drink water most days. But yeah, I'm just drinking water.
Did
Yeah.
you see the fancy cup, y'all? Did you see the fancy cup?
You know what? I got this. It's not that, well, it is fancy, but I got this at a yard sale. It was brand new, about a year ago. But yes, it's kind of cute, like a little cup.
Awesome. So I too am drinking water, trying to, you know, trying
Stay
to
hydrated.
trying to do the right thing, right?
Yep.
So normally I would have read a bio, right? But for those of you who are not familiar, who's not familiar with Otissa Marble, you've heard me talk about my brunch, Pause Reset Brunch. She has been the moderator for me for the last 7 years.
Can you believe it?
And I am so grateful to her, y'all. It's amazing. I know we talk about it. You know, I came to you because, well, we connected because we're both introverts, but I think we're really ambiverts as like a mixture, but more
I would
so
agree.
introvert side, right? And she's been down with me, ever since. She believed in me, said yes. I remember her words, why not, right?
No, I think it may have been why me?
Oh, why me? But then you
Like,
said why
why
not me,
me? And
right?
then, well, why not me? Yeah,
Right,
right.
right. So, I appreciate her so much. So I am actually just hoping just to have a great dialogue with you so the world can know the beautiful Otissa, right? Okay. So,
But
Lisa,
can I interrupt for just a second? I want to say thank you, Natalie, for inviting me. Also for being patient with me, because it only took me a year to get here to finally say yes. But just thank you so much for being gracious to me and for believing in me and trusting me to, be somewhat of the voice for your brand at the brunch. I know for sure that if you did not believe in me, you would not have me to stand, um, in the gap and, be the voice for the brunch. So I appreciate you. And just, over the years, just, pushing me out of my comfort zone and, just reminding me exactly of who I am. So thank you. Thank you.
yay, absolutely. We're gonna dive right into it, right? There's so many things that we can talk about. Well, but we are going to dive into Honey Let's Go, right? So, Honey Let's Go is all about creating unique and impactful experiences, right?
Yep.
What
Yep.
what inspired you to you know, to create this event, which is going to be your signature event, Ready, Set, Swap Charlotte?
So thank you for asking me about that. Do you know I have not introduced Honey Let's Go to anyone? I have not been marketing it. So this is the first time that I have said anything about Honey Let's Go. So thank you.
Did I let
You
it out?
you let the cat out the bag, and that's okay. That's completely okay. But yeah, so Um, First, let's go back to last year. In a conversation on Facebook, I mentioned, I think I may have mentioned the concept about a swap event, which is a clothing swap event where women or men participants come together and they exchange items. For the most part, it's clothing, right? So I think I posted about it on Facebook, and someone said, "Well, Tissa, you should put one together." And or maybe I said, if I put a swap together, would people come? And I got an overwhelming amount of comments, and people said, "Yes, I'll come. Please do. Do it, do it, do it." And so, what most people don't know is that I actually hosted a clothing swap about 14 years ago. It was under the umbrella of a blogger out of Atlanta. She was hosting events across the country. And so she would find people in Charlotte to host the events for her under her umbrella. And so I did that for her. So, last year when I got the feedback that people wanted to do it, I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. And I jumped head first. I got busy. I rented a space, um, thought of the concept, created flyers, and we hosted, it was a team of us, it wasn't just me. I got vendors and everything. And so we hosted the first Ready Set Swap on January the 25th of this year. We actually, I was kind of nervous because the weather pushed the date back, and it was a big to do. But I put 50 tickets out on Eventbrite, sold every single ticket, and the event was fantastic. Like just the love in the room and the vibe, the energy was amazing. And people kept saying, "Well, when is the next one?" People who couldn't attend said, "Tissa, can you do another one? Because I missed the first one. I want to do it again. Can you please do it again? You should do this every quarter." And so I thought about it after about, a few weeks. I was like, this is a lot of work, but it absolutely felt amazing to do it. And, you know, my sweetheart, spoke to me in my ear and said, "You know what? You should really turn this into a business. You put a lot of work into it. You deserve to, go official with it." And so I decided to make it, an event business where Ready Set Swap will be my signature event. So I had a name for the business in mind, and there was some things that happened, and I decided to change it. Um, and I wanted to incorporate my granddaughter's name into the business name in some type of way. And so her name is Hunter, and we call her Honey. And so I went on the hunt to try and think of, all these creative ideas that I could come up with to include her nickname into the
Mm-hmm.
business. And so we came up with Honey Let's Go. And so Honey Let's Go is going to be an event business that focuses on women, stylish women, and our goal is to create amazing experiences for women to embrace their brilliance, embrace their bravery, to be bold fashionistas, all type of creative experiences. So yeah, I'm excited about it. So
Yeah, I'm excited too. So I did attend the first event, never been to one, and it was a vibe. Uh, um, so before I even talk about that, let them know what they can expect because you are having an event coming up. And
yep. So the next Ready Set Swap is June 7th
Mhm.
from 2 to 5. It's at XL&C Dance Studios. So the way that I like to describe the swap is, think pop-up shop with a mixture of thrifting, with a mixture of badass local vendors, live music, free foods, free mimosas while they last. We'll have a 360 photo booth, and I'm also going to have a cute little way to like a giveaway, but it'll be like a scavenger hunt. So you
Okay.
not like a scavenger hunt, like a passport. So all the attendees will get a passport when they come in, and each vendor that you shop with, you'll get a stamp on your passport, which will then allow your name to be put in for a drawing. I
Okay.
haven't,
Okay.
explained what the drawing is going to be. So I'm trying to make it really creative, but it is
Cool.
really, really a vibe. Yeah.
So it's definitely in a blend fashion, thrifting, and culture. And see is something great for the community, right? So,
Absolutely.
so
I,
explain how you feel this builds community.
So I feel like it builds community because, and I also want to dispel the stigma on thrifting. I mean, thrifting is a big deal. A lot of people don't do it because they think of dirty or used clothes, and I don't want to wear anybody else's clothes, but that's not what we're promoting here. So with the swap event, I encourage women to bring gently used, once loved, or new items. Something that, you would be proud to raise your hand. If I said in the event, hey, whose item is this? You'd be proud to say that this is yours. Something that you once loved, but something you might give to your best girlfriend. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's not something that, you just want to get rid of, but very nice, items. And so I think most women can connect with shopping, and what I found at the last event is that women would sit around to see who's going to take their clothes and who's going to take their items. And so that builds a rapport. Women felt good about, having some of their items swapped out. But also, another way that it builds community is that all of the items that remain in the swap boutique are things that are not elected, are donated to not a nonprofit organization. And so with the last event, we donated clothes to Beauty After Bars. And for this event, we're going to make the donation to Dress for Success. So, and then also there's an opportunity to network, with other women while you're there, to get to know the vendors, and to support local vendors, local small businesses. So it's a really, for me, it's a really big deal. I'm so honored to, bring this concept to Charlotte.
I mean, I loved it as I was a vendor there, but I was able to actually sit back and watch you, the whole creativity, you know, and the order. What's the whole curation process? Well, like what does it look like behind the scenes?
So
Because I know you were tired
I
after.
was tired, and I think so many people were asking questions like, "Well, what is it like?" And how do we shop? And just to see it. So we actually create what we call a boutique. So we literally have racks of clothes. We have tables where we build the clothes out. It's almost like, and it's kind of, not roped off, but it's segmented from like the vendor. So there's a dedicated space within our venue for the actual closet. It took a lot of work. Like, my nephews jumped in to help me. My kids were there to support and assist. My sister was there. It took a lot of work. Um, some of the ladies donated their clothes, or they gave me their clothes prior to the swap, which was amazing. So, I did a few meetups prior to the date to actually get the clothing items. And I think what helped sell the event was taking pictures of what people were intending to swap before the event, because it gave some of the other ticket holders assurance that, yeah, okay, these are going to be nice clothes. I mean, I had people DM. So like once I started posting what people were bringing, I had people inboxing me and texting me saying, hey, I'm not going to be able to get that, make it to the event, but I want to get this bag. Is there any way that I can make, purchase a ticket and get this bag before the event? Or, can you hold this item for me? And no, unfortunately, I can't hold anything. So I can't give anybody access to anything until the doors open. So I thought I was excited about seeing some ladies excited about some of the things that I was posting. Like, I would post some shoes and I would get all these comments. What size is that? Can you put that to the side? I can't put anything to the side. So, that kind of builds up some of the excitement. I think that also sold a few extra tickets. But it's just amazing. We try to group the items, the clothing in similar items. So, we would hang all the dresses together. We would hang all the jeans or the pants together. Bag, separate. It's like a literal closet. It's like a real closet when you come in. So,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm. Absolutely. So obviously as we go through life, we rebrand ourselves, right? Um, and we talk about it and we can be free here. We talk about it, the whole perimenopause, menopause, all that good stuff. But before I even get into that, as far as rebranding, the keeping it tight fitness lady, which I still see you. Now I see that you've embraced yoga,
Mm.
you know, um, and now you're taking on Honey, Let's Go. Can we just the
So, yeah, it's sometimes I feel like I'm all over the place, with keeping it tight. I've kind of sunset that. That's my
Mhm,
fitness brand where I was a personal trainer, fitness influencer. That was my baby. I birthed keeping it tight at the start of the pandemic when we couldn't, work out together. The gyms were closed, and I was trying to find a way to keep my gold friends active and keep them fit and healthy throughout the pandemic. And I started doing training sessions on Zoom for free, and I did it free for like a whole year. And then again, my person was like, "Babe, you need to, you know." make this official. You spend a lot of time and effort. You're putting your heart into this. You should reap some of the benefits from that. And so that's where keeping it tight was born. And I have loved keeping it tight over the past 5 years. But as with many things, we outgrow some things.
mhm.
And so I've had to put keeping it tight to the side, and just focus on keeping Tissa tight. you know, um, I committed so much time and energy, and I tried to hold on, you know, to the momentum and my passion for that for a long time. And then last year, I just couldn't hold on any longer, and I had to turn inward, like you said, with menopause and perimenopause. And, I had to focus on Tissa, and to fight for my own fitness. And so, yeah, I still love keeping it tight. I'm still, moving my body. I still strength train 3, 4 days out of the week. Like you said, I have embraced yoga. um, Yoga is a different kind of hard. Trust me, we think it's
Oh yeah.
all stretching and, just flowing. Yoga is a workout. You hear me? It's like a full body workout for me. It is not
Mhm.
easy at all. But I am enjoying the mental benefits that also comes with yoga. It's a little slower pace, but I'm just enjoying, just the mental and physical benefits from yoga. I started out taking a few yoga classes with Peloton, and there's a Facebook group that I'm a part of, and it's for Peloton, for it's called Black Peloton Riders.
Mhm.
And last September there was a 30-day challenge of yoga where someone created a calendar of events of yoga classes all hosted within the Peloton app, and each class was like 10 minutes per class, maybe 15, 20 for some classes. And so I did the challenge. I think I may have missed 2 or 3 days or whatever. But that challenge just sparked something in me. And I just felt good. I would typically do the classes at the end of the day. And I just felt like going to bed, I was just so relaxed. And so I decided to keep going, with yoga or whatever. And so I found a local class here that I enjoy. I go twice a week, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing. So yeah, so I'm still keeping it tight. Things are a little bit different now with menopause. Um, some exercises are harder. I have to
Mhm.
really focus and be intentional with my sleep, be a little more intentional with my diet, and more than anything, just show myself some grace, with menopause and, just how I had to kind of change life altogether. So, yeah.
Well, you know what, Tis? I see that as a form of self-care in many different ways. Um, Sometimes, we are involved in relationships, or we're at a job, or but and sometimes we stay there just because either it's expected or whatever. But the fact that you knew, you know what, I'm gonna do keeping it tight for Tis, and I'm gonna embrace other things, you know. So I see that as a of self-care, you know.
Absolutely. I fought for a long time, Natalie. I gotten down to one personal client, and we were training 2 to 3 days a week. And the thought of having that conversation I'm getting teary eyed now, but the thought of having the conversation with her to let her know that I was finally deciding to let go, it was one of the most emotional conversations I've had to have. And she had known for a while that I was, thinking about letting it go, but I held on for her, like, because
Mm,
she was so committed to her wellness. I was so committed to her. But at the same time, I felt like I wasn't doing her, you know, I was doing her a disservice because I wasn't fully committed to it, and she had became a client who became a friend to me. And I just felt like I owed it to her to allow her to find someone who was more committed,
mm,
and where she could get the bang for her money. And so that was a hard conversation for me to have with her. I literally, cried like a baby, you know because I felt like I was letting her down. But
mm,
then I knew all along I was lifting myself up. Like, I had to do it. It wasn't a matter of I don't like training anymore. It wasn't a matter of, I don't like this. I enjoyed every single session with her. Once I walked into the gym and saw her, it was like, hey, let's get it, let's
mm.
do work. And I enjoyed it, but I just could not continue. It wasn't, I
Well,
needed
self-care.
to, yeah, I had to focus on me. I had to. It just wasn't an option. So yeah.
So talking about self-care, besides, yoga, and of course, you working out. By the way, I have done boot camp with Tis, and I just want to put this out there. One thing that I can say, you embraced everyone, you embraced them where they were physically, and it was great. Um, Now getting back, besides the yoga, besides, like I said, you doing exercising and so forth, what are other ways that you recharge?
Last year, about 2 years ago, I started camping. That's one of the ways that I recharged. Started camping with my sister. My sister had gone camping with some ladies during the pandemic, and she invited me. And I'm not going to sleep outside, and I'm certainly not going to be around some women that I don't know, and I don't know where they've been because they might give me COVID, and, so no. I'm not going.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so Mother's Day weekend of 2023, maybe it was it 2022? Maybe mm, 2023. Still, kind of in the ranks of COVID or whatever. My sister invited me again, and I accepted the invitation, and I have not turned back from camping since then. Like, it was such a wonderful experience. I can't remember how many women attended that event. M Maybe 30 or 40 of us, but it was just such an amazing experience. We actually camped in cabins that time, but the second time I went, we actually camped, in a tent, and it was just so amazing to see all these women, putting up their tents, starting fires, cooking, canoeing, just, living. We line danced, we ate together. We just had such an amazing time. We didn't worry about what we looked like. I mean, we trucked it to the bathroom in the dark together. I mean, it was just so amazing. And each time I go, Natalie, I feel so refreshed. Now, the thought of packing the car and, in preparation for the trip can be somewhat overwhelming. But once we get there, it's like, I'm with my girls, I'm with my people. Like, it's so amazing. So that is one way. But another way is my sister and I love my sister. We travel together fairly well. Like, we like a lot of the same things. Um,
Mhm.
and we just get along really well. So we found a Black owned spa in Atlanta. It's called the Wellness Spot. It is a old hair salon turned into a wellness center. They offer yoga, bar. They offer, all of the spa services, facials, manicures, massages, all of that. They have like clothing and um beauty products and things like that. But it's just a really, really nice spa. And we actually came across that. We went to a race in Atlanta in October of last year, and we went to a Black owned restaurant and just happened to walk past the spa, and some women were walking out with their yoga mats, and we were like, well, what is this? So we took a tour, and we've gone back a couple times. Like, just drive down to Atlanta, um have breakfast or whatever, attend, the wellness spot. And we always thrift shop while we're there, or, find some, Black owned restaurants or businesses to, visit. And, we just do whatever. We get coffee, we, just kind of play it low, and then we come back on Sunday. So we always leave on Friday, come back on
Mhm.
Sunday. Always find something cool and lightweight to do when we're there. And we don't worry about what's going on at home or anything. And, a lot of times we decide what we're going to do when we get there. We just know we're going to the wellness spot. But so, trips with my sister are always relaxing for me. And so that's my form of self-care, you know. So
As you talk about your sister, and I've seen how you all, interact. But there's a phrase that said, "I'm my sister's." Well, they say I'm my brother's keeper, but I'm my sister's keeper. What does that phrase mean to you, and the way that you show up for women in the community? Because you are a girl's girl for sure.
I I am a girl's girl for sure. I want to see us all win. I more importantly want to see us live. I want us to be healthy and thriving and, doing whatever it is we want to do. So I think I am my sister's keeper. I am supportive. Um, I show up for women when they need me. I have learned to not be so um, aggressive, and sometimes, like, we have to meet people where they are.
Mhm.
I show grace for others. You know, I was really, really, really on women, you know, during the pandemic, trying to get everybody to work out, trying to get everybody, you know, to come to my boot camp. If you don't come to my boot camp, you still need to go work out somewhere. Um, and then, you know, when people would come and work out with me, I would be very accommodating, offering um modifications, or you know, just showing up for people, meeting people where they are. But I love to see us win. I absolutely love that, and however I can show up for my sisters, that's what I'm willing to do. And so I just support people however I can, and I feel
Mhm.
like I am a huge cheerleader, so I clap for women when they are winning, and I push them when they feel like they are not. Um, I like to speak life into others. So I basically do to other women what I want done for me,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
So
You said something important, and I think I understand, but I'll let you explain when you said you've learned not to be so aggressive.
yeah, you know, I am not where um there I have places, I have areas where I need to grow, right? And so I appreciate when I have a sister or girlfriend to help me to see things that I don't see. You know, Tissa, you can do this, and Tissa, you can do that. And you know, I might be afraid to move forward or whatever because I just am. Um, and so I think it's important that even though I can see where someone can do better or be more or achieve more, hey, you gotta let people move when they're ready. You
Mhm.
can't just force somebody. And I say that specifically, I've learned that for my children. I cannot make grown adults, young adults, do what they don't want to do when they're not ready. And so I've learned to push gently or to just cheer. You know, hey, they're not ready to do that yet, but what they are doing is fantastic. I'm going to cheer for you. Good
Mhm.
job. Keep going, sis. I love that. Keep going. God, you
Mhm.
look good. You know, even if I don't like their hair, or I don't, you know, they might be wearing something that I might not wear. You still look good. You look good. I love that for you, you know? And so I think we tear each other down a lot. And, you know, I just find myself cheering for women, or at least trying to, even when
Mhm.
it's not my cup of tea. I'm still gonna
Mhm.
clap. I'm gonna clap. You look good. I love it. Good job. You know, yeah. So
Mhm. Absolutely. I love it. So, Tess, your event is coming up in
June 7th.
June 7th. If anyone is interested in becoming a vendor or they want to participate in the swap, how can they get a hold of you?
Ladies, let me make this clear. You don't want to miss this. You don't. You do not want to miss Ready, Set, Swap. It's taking place on June 7th at the XLNC Dance Studio off WT Harris from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Reach out to me on Facebook, Otissa, last name Marble, or you can search for the Ready, Set, Swap event on Eventbrite. We also have an Instagram page dedicated specifically for the swap, and it's called Ready Set Swap CLT. You can purchase tickets. There's a link from Instagram where you can go and purchase the ticket from Eventbrite. Yeah, just reach out to me. I am looking to sell out. I want to sell at least 80 to 100 tickets. The last event was 50 tickets. I was afraid to make that my goal. Um, but I am reminded that our creator favors the bold. And so I made that an affirmation. I will sell out, 50 tickets, and I did. I'm going to sell at least 80 tickets this time. We have a bigger space. Buy those tickets, y'all. I need at least 15 vendors. There are plenty vendor spots left. The vendors, the space for the vendors, $70. That's not bad at all. That gets you access to the swap, free food, mimosas, and also access to at least 80 to 100 clients. You can network, get sell your business. And so the vendors at the last event, most of them sold out. I mean, they sold out, or came close to selling out of their products. It was a very good day for the vendors. You don't want to miss this. It's gonna be great. If you love thrifting, if you love fashion, supporting local businesses. Also, if you want to sponsor the event, I am also accepting sponsors. I already had a few people support, provide monetary donations. And so we're trying to fill up. We have swag bags that I'm having made right now. They're being printed as we speak.
Okay. One of
And
those
I need,
items.
yes, we need so the bag will come to the first 50 participants to purchase their tickets. They get a free swag bag, and those swag bags, I want to fill them with goodies. So they'll be used to shop. So you can put the items that you swap with in the bags, but I also want to fill them with some goodies. So local businesses or, vendors, if you want to market your product, putting your items, either whether it's a flyer or a mini product, mini lip gloss, mini whatever, anything that you like to donate, we welcome all of it. So, just reach out to me and we can make it happen.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
So Tis, we're about to close out. Is there anything you want to leave the audience with? This is your time.
Would just say, first, I just want to thank you, Natalie, for again trusting me and pushing me. To the audience, I would say let's all be kind to one another. Let's continue to support each other, to, just feed each other with love, lift each other up, and, be a better community. That's all I got.
Awesome. Awesome. So you heard June
Oh,
7th.
and I'll see y'all at the swap.
Okay. I'm
I'll see
telling
y'all.
y'all, it was a vibe. I'm not even gonna lie, with the DJ playing
Like
songs that
it's like he brought the vibe. Like he had the perfect mixture of different genres of music. It was just so good. And I'm not even saying that because it was my event, just it was a good event. Y'all need to come. DJ Easy Ice. He is local to Charlotte. He's from Charlotte. Former Power 98. Like DJ Easy Ice. Look him up. He was on he was our DJ and he was amazing and he's coming back. So yeah.
awesome, awesome. So Tess, I want to thank you once again for being my guest. Finally. Woo! If you are out there and you are interested in being a guest on Pause Reset Unplugged, please email us resetbrunch@gmail.com. You can check out my website, www.naturalinting.com, and submit a request through there, or check out the IG, Natalie, was it Natalie Francis-Clarke? I think. Some
Yes,
at
that's
G at Instagram. All right. So once again, I want to some Marble for being my guest today. And please, if you are out there, as she said, be kind. Whatever you do it in love and do it with peace.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.